Alright, Shalom. This is the brother Mayim coming at you from GMS Tampa Bay. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruchakodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and much blessing and salutations to the Hakim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and its truth and sincerity. So I want to just do a lesson here, going off of the book of 2 Thessalonians and chapter 2, and see how far the Spirit leads me. I'm gonna read the majority of this book, of this chapter, but let me just go ahead and start, and we'll go through the Spirit. All right, and it says, "Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that in the day of Christ is at hand." All right, because in this time, and scripture's escaping me right now. I forget exactly where it was, but at this time you had during this time that Paul is talking about here in verse 2. All right, you had man, I don't know why I'm having a brain fart right now. Dang, I forgot exactly where it was in the scripture. Salakia Akim, but there was a couple other people that were already talking about, or not already talking about, but out prophesying falsely that Yahweh Shai had already returned. All right, and basically that the end was there. All right, that's why Paul is saying, he's saying that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, because these letters that Paul wrote, that's exactly what it were. These were letters. All right, it says, as from us, as that the day of Hamashiach is at hand. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, okay, except there come a falling away first. All right, because at that time you had, and like I said, Salaki, again, I can't remember off the top of my head. If I remember, I'll come back to it, but if not, I might do a separate video on it. Like I was saying, there was another group of men. Matter of fact, I think it was. All right, well, we nonetheless, there was other men preaching that Yahweh Shai had already come, and that the end was coming. All right, but the Spirit was on Paul to know that the end was not yet come. That's why in verse 3 it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. All right, and we know that son of perdition to be Esau Edom, the so-called white man. All right, because as we're going to continue to read, we're going to see that that's who exactly it was talking about. It says, verse 4 says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High. Now let me stop there, and just to prove that this is talking about Edom, let's go to the book of Obadiah. All right, and I'm gonna just start at verse 1. It says, this is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. All right, again, let me reiterate this. This is back in verse 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. So this book of Obadiah, which is just one chapter, is in reference to Edom. All right, so going back to verse 2, it says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Verse 3, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Because that's how prideful the so-called white man is. The so-called white man, Esau, Edom, he really believes that no one's going to be able to bring him down. All right, and you look at if you look at the not just here in America, but anywhere that the so-called white man is ruling, they really believe that those countries are going to continue forever. They don't think that they could never be brought down. All right, verse 4, and this is the point: thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set the nest among the stars, that, or Salak, that's not the point. But let me keep reading though. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. All right. And let me get to the point here. Oh, actually, I think that was pretty much it right there. But it says, let me read that again. Verse 4 says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. All right, and that's what Esau does, man. He set himself up above, up in outer space. You know, he has the International Space Station. All right, he and you know, metaphorically, you can put that in reference to his pride and how high he thinks he really is. All right. All right, going back to verse 3, where it says, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? All right. And see, Esau putting himself up there, he really believes that he's the most high, man. You know, he really believes that he's because that's what Esau really wants to do, man. Esau wants to really that's Esau's whole plan with the one world order. Everybody serving him and him being on top, like if he was the most high, when the order of things is the most high on down. All right, and that's the order that Esau is trying to set up. All right, but let me skip on down to verse 6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hid things sought up? All right, because the way that that's being brought out is through what? Through this word, man. All right, and if we look at today, if we look at what's going on today, that's the times that we're living in, man. We're living since the time of Abba Bivens on down. All right, on down till today, we have the Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rakah, Apostle Ramlab. All right, on to you know, the elders and brothers that are out here pushing, man. That son of perdition is being revealed. All right, and that's how Esau's things are being searched out, man, through these scriptures, man. We're coming out on the highways and byways, and we're exposing Esau, because this is that time. All right, and in verse 3, let me read this in 2 Thessalonians verse 2 and verse 3. Verse 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. And that falling away already happened. All right, because that was talking about the time of 70 AD. All right, during the Jewish Roman wars. Okay, and you know, when the Romans came and sacked Jerusalem. Okay, and I believe it went on for a few years. It was a few years before and a few years after. I believe it started in like 66 AD, if I'm not mistaken, and lasted a few years after 70 AD. But the main I'd say the climax of the whole Roman Jewish wars was that 70 AD with the sack of Jerusalem. All right, that was that falling away that had to happen first, and then us going into you know, us staying, you know, losing who we were and everything like that, because we fell away from everything that we had. All right, because this last captivity that we were in, all right, we forgot completely who we were, man. All right, we lost our heritage, we lost everything, and then what? And that man of sin be revealed, that son of perdition. And that's the time that we've been that's the time that's been that is on this end. All right, starting from, like I said, Abba Bivens on down. But it says, verse 4 says, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High. And another way of that is this devil always comes out with new scientific ways of creating new forms of life, all right, via cloning, stem cell research, creating GMO food, all right, because what the Most High created life. The Most High created the herb to yield fruit. But what, you got the so-called white man that's trying to do that, okay, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Exactly, man. And so you see, this devil, that's who that's talking about. Who else is doing that? Who else is showing himself to be the Most High, man? It ain't the so-called Chinese man. It ain't the so-called East Indian. It ain't the so-called Japanese man. It's the so-called white man who's showing himself to be the Most High, man. All right. Verse 5 says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. And that's the time that we've been living in. All right. From like I said, Abba Bivens on down, man. That's the times that we've been living in. Okay. Verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. And at that time it was already working. Why? Because the Roman Empire was being led by the Edomites, man. Esau. Okay. It says, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way, and then that wicked be revealed. Oh, Salak. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And let's go back to Obadiah, because it clearly states in Obadiah that Esau, Edom, is going to be destroyed. All right, let me get straight to the point. I'm going to start at 15, actually, Salakia. It says, Obadiah 1 and 15. Now, let me go back to 2 Thessalonians and read that again real quick before we get that. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 8, it says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightening of his coming. All right. So that's the point that I want to make there, of his coming. Okay. The Lord's going to destroy him at his coming. All right. So let's get that. Obadiah verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon the heathen, as thou hast done. Now, remember, we just read 2 Thessalonians that when the Lord returns, that he is going to devour and destroy Esau, right? All right, so let's continue. This is talking about the day of the Lord. Back in 15, it says, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. Because why? What's the reward of the so-called white man? That's the cup of slavery. That's the cup of death. All right, because the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, he put our people into slavery. And which nonetheless, our people were still going to have to pay. All right, whether by whoever the Lord put above us, it was just Esau was given the blessing of the sword. All right, so, but Esau took it overboard, man. He went above and beyond and did all types of atrocities to us, man. So guess what? He's gonna have to be paid that. He's gonna have to be rewarded that upon his own head. All right. Verse 16, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, and there you go. What's the Lord's holy mountain? Zion. Okay? Israel. The Israelites, man. The so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man and woman. Okay? So shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Okay? But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. All right, because we're gonna own everything. We're gonna have everything in this world, man. Everything this planet was created for Jacob's sake, man. All right, but continuing on to get to the point, verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and that's talking about Jacob and Joseph. are collectively being Israel, the nations of Israel, the southern and the northern kingdom, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining in the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. All right, so that's what's going to happen to the so-called white man. The so-called white man is going to be destroyed off the face of the earth. Okay, now let me get another one. All right, and this is Revelation chapter 18, and I'm gonna just start at verse 1. All right, and it reads, "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication." Right? And what do we read in Obadiah? That he was made drunk off the on the holy mountain, off the Lord's holy mountain, right? And guess what? With that same wine that he was drinking, he gave out to the other nations, man. And the other nations got drunk off as well, man. They were having one big ass tap dance on the back of the Israelites, man. All right. And it says, "And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her." And that's how you know this is talking about America. Okay, because who's spreading their philosophy to all the countries of the world is America. America is the one that has U.S. embassies in everybody's back door. They have military bases in everybody's back door. Okay, and they're pushing their philosophies around the four corners of the earth to all the kingdoms. So let me read that again. "And the kings of the earth have committed fornication," meaning they indulged in their philosophy of America's philosophies. "And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies." Exactly. Because, the the merchants, all right, these other nations' economies, all right, the biggest customers are America, and so a lot of these countries have been made rich through that. All right, but let me get to where I was getting. That wasn't what I wanted to get, but all right, this is where I wanted to get. This is Revelation 20:1. It says, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand." All right, that bottomless pit, all right, here is talking about that land of Europe. And that great chain in his hand is representing that slavery, because at one point in time, Edom was in slavery under what people know as the Moors, all right, which was Israelites. Okay. "And he laid hold on that dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season." And that's the little season that we're in right now. Esau has been let loose, and he's been running loose out here, right? But guess what? In this little season that he's been out, this is the time for him to be revealed. This is the time that he's being revealed in this little season that he's being released in. Because what? Salakia, he was bound up. He was in slavery under the Israelites at that time, being called Moors, and then they came out of those. They came out, all right, and he was loosed out of those chains, which is during the time of the Renaissance. That's when the so-called white man came back into power, and since then, guess what? They've been in rulership, all right. But let me see. Let me get to the point here. All right, Con, here goes verse 10. Well, I'll start at verse 9. It says, "And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about and the beloved city, and fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. All right, so you see this so-called white man, he's being revealed and he's going to be destroyed. All right, he's going to be destroyed in that lake of fire, meaning that lake of fire is going to be America when all these nuclear missiles come down raining fire, man. All right. So going back to 2 Thessalonians. All right. We had just read 8, so let me read 9. And it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. All right. What are some examples of Esau's powers and power and signs and lying wonders? Esau's technology. All right. Esau's medical wonders that he's able to do, and lying wonders. These lying wonders being this whole Christianity doctrine that the Lord is going to come back with peace and love. All right. And with all deceivable, verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And you see, because the so-called white man, he comes with that deceivableness of unrighteousness. All right. And that's why our people are breaking the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord begot, that he gave us, because of this devil. All right. Verse 11, and for this cause the Most High shall send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. And 2/3 of the nation of Israel is going to continue to believe a lie, man. The lie that the so-called white man is their friend, that he likes them, that he truly doesn't hate Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans anymore. But that's a bold-faced lie. Okay. And you see, verse 12, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Verse 13, but we are bound to give thanks always to the Lord. That was pretty much it there. But, hey, just wanted to do that quick video, man, because that son of perdition is being revealed as we speak, man. And we see it happening out. We see it every time we look at the news, man. We have these, and that's another thing that's coming to America, man. You're going to have these race riots. All right. And we see that every day on the news, man. You have all these Negroes, Latinos, all right, and Native Americans waking up to the fact that this so-called white man is the damn devil, man. That he's a lying piece of shit. Salakia for my language. Forgive me. But that's just what it is, man. And that's what people are waking up to. That this devil is a liar, man. That he's the damn devil. That he's exactly that. The so-called white man is the devil, and everyone is waking up to it. And those are the days that we're living in. And guess what? That day is coming. All right? Because we already went through that falling away. And now that son of man, that man of sin is being revealed. So, hey, get ready, man, because gears are getting cranked up. The Lord is getting ready to return, man. We're in that time. We are in that time, man. All right? But with that, Lord willing, you brothers are edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruchakodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of the great millstone, and much blessing and citations to the Hakim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and this truth in sincerity. Shalom.